Hey guys, in the last episode we left off reviewing our pitch deck that we're building, and one of the appendixes included some of the environment art that we're working on. And I gave a sneak peek as to how this is being built and worked on, but I want to take a deeper dive. So I'm excited to announce that we have Unreal Habitat now contributing to the project, and you can see the work that he's doing here in the Environment Blockout channel of our Discord server. So I first learned of Unreal Habitat through his own streaming. I saw him world building and I thought how cool and how professional and polished the work that he was doing. And that was about 6 or 8 months before I reached out to him because I thought, well, as he streams world building, that's what I need for the project now. And I just reached out and I thought we kicked it off really well, built a good relationship, and now he has agreed to help us with the project, so I'm very excited about it. So I just want to introduce Unreal Habitat. Here's his YouTube channel. So he works on all things environment related, from Unreal Engine to Substance Painter. He's got lots of cool tutorials to follow. And this series here, actually, the Medieval Low Poly World, is where I started following and where I started seeing his work and engaging in his channel. He's also got links in here through Instagram, some of the more current projects he's working on, and an ArtStation too. So super excited to have Danilo contributing. Um, and then today what I'm going to cover is just the work that he's done. I think it looks awesome. And he has mapped out the steps that he followed, or he described the steps that he took to get the results. So I want to take the time to run through that at a high level. And then again, I reached out to him because he's clearly experienced and good with education and at the technical level as well. So to begin, he says, hey, this is the start of the Environment Blockout channel, where we will be posting updates of the environments for this project. He says, for our first level, we will be creating an environment based on the concept art. So this is a concept art you may recognize. It's on all of my socials. And actually in the next episode, I'm going to go more into the various work that we've had completed up to this point outside of the engine. But this is the concept art we're working with. And then he says the first thing he did is add a landscape with enough geometry subdivision to be able to sculpt on it and get a smooth surface without jagged edges using this setting with a screenshot. And then he says the settings will give us small squares, allowing us to sculpt smoothly on the landscape. So I'm going to open up Unreal. This is the current status of what he's working on in the Black Mountain map. So if I pull up the landscape tool by clicking on the selection mode dropdown, clicking on landscape, what he did was he created a new landscape and then he changed the settings. I don't have it here because it's already been created. Maybe it's going to be under manage or add, but when you add a new landscape, you get settings to configure on scale, which he's selected here. And then the subdivision, I think the component resolution, the verts, 256 by 256 is what his screenshot was here. Or 255 by the section squads, right? So the reason and what he means is allowing us to sculpt smoothly on the landscape is because if you have two small quadrants, any change you make to the landscape will have too much scale or too much volume of a change. So if he adds enough small squares, you have more control over the fine edges in the landscape. And it goes both ways. If you add too many small squares, and your paintbrush that you'll be working with doesn't have as big as an impact as you might want to work efficiently. So he says then he started adding a Cine camera actor to get a fixed camera angle to work with, as well as simple shapes and cones and cubes using the modeling tools in Unreal Engine. Also, I use the landscape ramp tool to make a little path in the center. So we're pulling up Unreal. I'm going to exit the landscape mode. But what he says is he added a Cine camera actor, and he uses this. Let me click F actually and show it. So he inserts a camera here. I think you can do that by here. Yeah, by clicking on the search and dragging out a Cine camera actor. And what that does is it gives you a fixed reference of what you're going to be building. Otherwise, it can get very distracting and you can start getting all of these different angles that you're working on. But really, what you want to be doing is have this primary reference. So he started with this, he says, and then he started building some models using the modeling tools. So if you click on the selection drop down again, and instead of landscape, if you go to modeling, here you can select and update different types of basic shapes and models, because what we are doing for the first phase is building a blockout. So here he, at a very high level, before any of these rocks with details, he dragged out simple shapes. You can see there's like rectangles, cones, and then from there you can start tracing that essentially with the 3D assets. So I'm gonna exit here, exit that. I'm gonna click out of the camera actor so I can see again. And then where did he leave off? Also, I use the landscape ramp tool to make a little path in the center. So back to the engine. If we move in closely here, you can see there are little ramps. The landscape has some curves. So from here, I think it's from the back to the landscape model or mode, you can sculpt, and then you can click here to add ramps. You can click once here and once in any other direction, and then it's going to give you tools to elevate the landscape, and you can tweak it as you need. So to start off, Danilo, I think he did some awesome work. Some of this stuff, if you've never done it before, might seem simple, like you're just adding geometry shapes throughout the map. But believe me, from what I can see in these results, I'm super happy that Danilo is helping with us, because this is far better than I can do. He's very attention to detailed, and I can't wait to see what else comes next. So that's our major update for this episode. If you have any questions, go ahead and pop in the Discord, in the Discord channel. I think the 17 is going to be updated just because I've been on travel and he started working while I've been on travel. So that just might be pushed to 18 or 19, but the channel name will remain the same, Environment Blockout. Thanks everybody. Bye.